Welcome to Vincent Fruit Adventures. Today we will be doing a special video on
Top 10 fruits. This time we are scouring the depths of our imaginations and minds and memories so that we can figure out exactly what the 10 best fruits that we've personally had are
currently
according to our personal tastes. And
what we've tried.
We have been keeping this list a secret from each other.
Yeah,
so
he doesn't know my top 10 and I don't know his top 10.
So we're very curious where this is going to end up. I think I might know some of yours, but we will
I think
see.
I know some of yours.
Yeah, well, who's gonna? We're gonna start one each from 10 down to 1. And
why don't you start?
Why don't I start? Okay, my number 10 is passion fruit.
Ooh.
Passion fruit honestly would be higher when I was younger. It was one of my all-time favorites. The only thing that bugs me is, especially in the States, it's pretty expensive, and when you open it up, there's not a whole lot there. You'll spend like $2 on less than one serving of passion fruit. But the passion fruit itself, especially if you get a good one and it's nice and ripe, so it's wrinkly, it's really delicious and good. And I also think the scent is the best scent of any fruit. It's just beautiful tropical scent. I would buy passion fruit candles, and I don't even buy candles. So my number 10 is passion fruit.
Okay, my number 10 is mangosteen.
Ooh.
And mangosteen, I've only had it canned so far.
Same. If I had had it fresh, maybe it would have been on there, but I haven't yet, so.
So I added it because of the fact that I really liked it canned, and I think if I had it fresh, I would like it even more.
They are hard to find fresh near us. We've found them a couple times, but they didn't look real good.
Yeah,
so
we wanted to get good fresh ones. So as of now, mangosteen is my number 10.
So then we have my number 9 is raspberry. Now, for those of you at home who have never heard of this fascinating, different, completely unheard of fruit known as a raspberry, well, it's a berry and it's got lots of ras. The best fruit in the world doesn't have to be something that's completely out there. I think raspberries have one of the best, nicest, tangiest flavors of any fruit available, and there's a bunch of different varieties that are good too. Black raspberries are good, red raspberries are good. My favorite of the bunch is probably yellow raspberries, which I don't always find, but those are nice and mellow. Those are really good. So yeah, raspberries in general, really, really good fruit.
To note, I do not like raspberries at all, so that is a completely all on him. It's not on my list at all.
That's not going to appear on her list.
Definitely not. But moving on to my number 9 is another common fruit, strawberries.
Oh, we went very appropriate for our number 9. It lines up so perfectly. So, for those of you who've never had a strawberry, would you mind breaking it down for our viewers?
I think that they know what strawberries are. But ever since I was little, my dad has grown strawberries in his garden, and I love fresh picked strawberries.
I love strawberries too. I especially love strawberry flavored things. What annoys me with strawberries sometimes is the ones in the grocery store almost never taste quite right. So, anyhow, my number 8 is rambutan. This was one that I liked a lot growing up because it was so crazy looking with the hair on the outside, and the flavor on it and the texture on it is really good. The only thing that keeps it from being higher on the list is sometimes when you're trying to bite the flesh off of the seed, little bits of the seed or the pit kind of stick to it. You kind of got to eat around that. So honestly, it's more of a texture issue than anything, because if it came off really easily, I think it would be much higher, because the flavor on rambutans is incredible. Just nice, tangy, but also mild, refreshing, tropical. Just really, really good one.
Very nice. Okay, my number 8 is soursop.
Soursop. Ooh,
I love soursop.
This is on my honorable mentions.
The reason it's my number 8 is because I love how refreshing it is, and it's sour but not too sour for me, and it's like just this perfect like summer treat. So
Soursop. Oh, you're making me wish I had put soursop on there, because now I really want soursop. Okay, but anyhow, my number 7 is yellow dragon fruit.
7. Surprising.
Yeah, yellow dragon fruit is really, really delicious. One of the best flavors. But it occurred to me, I don't really like the texture all that much compared to some other ones.
Interesting.
But if you go for another cactus fruit like a prickly pear, it's a little bit firmer, and it's just kind of slimy, and I love the flavor, but it's amazingly good. I love it. It's good in smoothies. It's way better than the red dragon fruit, but I feel like I have to defend why I'm putting it so low, even though it did make it onto my list. The reason it's on my list is because it's one of the best fruit flavors I've ever had. It's delicious. It's really good. It could easily have been higher if I liked the texture more. I'll put it that way.
Okay. Fair enough. My number 7 is another common one, a peach.
Oh, a peach.
I love peaches. I love the fuzziness on the outside. Not that I eat the fuzz, but it's soft. But even more so, I love the sweetness of it. I like how the texture is in my mouth. I don't know. It's just a nice fruit.
I really like peaches. I feel like they're good, versatile cooking fruits. What makes them good. Peach pie is good. Peach cobbler is good. Peaches and cream. You can do a lot with peaches.
Yeah.
I may be a little controversial on this one, but I prefer nectarines to peaches. I prefer them without the fuzz. But
see, I don't like to eat the fuzz, but I'm saying I like.
It does feel kind of cool. It's a nice little sensory thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so peaches is a good one. Moving on to number 6 for me. Number 6 is persimmon.
Ooh, okay.
This one has a slight asterisk because it's very specifically Fuyu persimmons that I'm a fan of, because they don't have the astringency problem where when they're not quite ripe enough, they give you dry mouth. The Hachiya persimmons, which are also good, but I had a Hachiya persimmon that I thought was ripe enough, and it was delicious, and I was loving it, but then it was giving me awful dry mouth, and it was awful, and then the Fuyu persimmons just don't do that, and so it's way better. But like, just the flavor of it is so unique, and I like the little cinnamon sugar aftertaste you get from it. It's really sweet fruit. It's underused in America, I think, more popular in Asia, but should be more widely available at supermarkets in the U.S.
Okay, my number 6 is jackfruit.
Ooh.
Jackfruit is an amazing fruit. If you've seen our What Fruit Is This episode of jackfruit, it is a huge fruit.
That's episode number 6, spoiler.
If you've seen, it is a huge fruit. Inside, there's yellow sections that are sweet and flavorful, and the scent is just amazing.
Yeah, also versatile. You can use it you can eat the seeds if you boil those.
Yeah,
really good.
So I really like jackfruit. That's my number 6.
Very good pick. Anyhow, my number 5 pick
Halfway
is
there.
Concord grapes.
Ooh.
Now, I love grapes. Grapes are good, but Concord grapes are special to me. I think they have the best flavor of a grape that you just eat by yourself, but I also love the texture because it's nothing like a grape. And this is where people usually slip up on Concords and don't like them, is because the texture is like...
I don't like the texture.
Exactly.
Although I do love Concord grape jelly, but that's because it's just the jelly.
That's not a real Concord grape experience. But Concord grape, you just pop one in your mouth all the way. You suck on it a little bit, the skin will just pop right off, and then you're left with this jelly texture in your mouth encasing the seeds, and you spit the seeds out, and it's just a tangy, sweet and sour, really refreshing, and it just feels like jelly in your mouth. It's very ungrape-like, and I have a lot of very specific memories with eating Concord grapes just off of a vine growing in our backyard, or whenever I happened to find it in a grocery store. Then they made these abominations called Tomcord grapes, which is like the flavor of Concord grapes, but the texture of a regular grape. So that since you don't like the texture of Concord, you can have but texture is what makes the Concord grape awesome.
Okay, moving on to my number 5.
Come on. You're just pushing me forward. You disagree with my Concord grape opinions.
My number 5 is mango. I love mango. I love slicing it up. I love it canned. I love it in basically every way. It's just delicious to me.
It's the most popular fruit in the world for a reason. It's really good. I don't really enjoy slicing it up usually. That's my only big caveat. I wish I could just be done slicing it up. I never enjoyed the process.
You wish you could just tap it and then it would just fall
apart into perfect mango portions for everybody. Exactly. But flavor-wise, texture-wise, especially if you get a really good one, and it's not like the mediocre ones you find in most grocery stores, then it's really delicious fruit. Easy to see why it's so beloved across the world.
Before he says number 4, I'm actually surprised. We haven't had any repeats yet.
We have had no repeats yet. It's almost like we're two different people with completely different tastes. Okay.
Thanks, dear.
Number 4, lychee. I've said before, my favorite type of fruit, my favorite family that has fruit in it, is the soapberry family. And lychee is at the front of the list of soapberries for me. I love longans. They fell short of the list because even though I love the texture, the flavor isn't quite as exciting for me. And rambutans were further down the list because they had that issue where the pit sticks to the flesh while you're trying to eat it. Lychee doesn't have that problem. It's less tangy than a rambutan, but it's just sweet and nice. It's impossible to describe to anyone if you haven't had anything similar to it before. You could maybe say it's like a grape, but it's not like a grape as far as flavor goes.
Yeah, I really like canned lychee, but I would say the reason why it didn't make it onto my list actually is because of the fact that when I had it fresh, I didn't quite like the flavor as much as when I had it canned.
That's bizarre to me because I think fresh lychee is one of the best flavors in the fruit world. But once again,
different palates.
All right.
Okay, my number 4 is loquat.
Ooh.
I love loquats. The first time we had it, as if you've seen our video of what fruit is this, we had it in Florida.
It's number 18, or is it 19?
I don't know.
I think it's
18.
I think it's 18.
We had it fresh off of a tree in Florida, and I thought it was going to be my number 1, but I have a few others ahead of this one now. But we've got it fresh now from the store a couple times, and it is just so juicy, so flavorful, so tangy and sweet, and it's just...
I agree with what she said. So moving on, number
3.
Number 3, loquat.
Woo-hoo!
Yeah, what she said. Loquat to me tastes like what peaches and nectarines and apricots are trying to be. It tastes like the epitome of that type of flavor, but just the best possible version of it. And it's so delicate and light and refreshing too. And my sister tried loquats recently, and she described it in a way that I had never thought about it before. Yeah. But she said it tasted like an orange-flavored pear.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting.
And I never thought about that. I can kind of see it. I can get the orange. What it doesn't have that a pear has is that, grittiness.
Grittiness, yeah, it doesn't have the grittiness.
Yeah, it doesn't have the grittiness of a pear. It's just a nice, light, pleasant texture. maybe a little bit of orange in addition to the peach and apricot.
Mhm.
It's just one of the best fruits you can get. It's also, I think, one of the most accessible. I can't really see anybody disliking loquat. If you like a lot of really basic things like peaches or apricots, there's no way you're not gonna like loquat. Loquat is just all that, but more.
But more. Yeah, exactly. Cool. Our first repeat one.
Yep.
My number 3 is Mexican guava.
Ooh.
Now, I specifically have Mexican guava as number 3 because I prefer Mexican guava over regular guava. But the reason why is I just love the creaminess when I scoop it out and it just slides down and it's sweet and a little tangy and it's just like, I just love the flavor and just the texture and it's just pleasant. I can just scoop out like in one like nice spoonful and just I could eat them all day.
I'm not as big on guavas as she is, but they're nice. I think I like the flavor more than I like the texture. All right, my number 2 is pawpaw.
Ooh. I guess I'm going to quickly say that my number 2 is pawpaw.
Oh, both of our number 2s are pawpaw.
Woo!
We match. So maybe we don't have different tastes. Maybe we are identical. Okay, so this was one we tried for the first time this year at the Pawpaw Festival.
Well, he brought it back from the Pawpaw Festival and then we had it.
Yeah, in York, PA, which we're definitely going next year because
together, yeah,
we're
unfortunately.
Absolutely in love with that fruit now.
Yes.
It's like every good tropical flavor rolled into one, and if you get it
the texture. It's so
if you get it at the right level of ripeness, the texture is just like a flan. Or
it's
like
so
a pudding.
Creamy it's like
Incredible.
it's such a nice texture and it's just like so sweet.
And it feels like a tropical fruit, but it isn't. It's just
it's so pleasant.
Yeah, you can. It's wild to me that you can just find them growing around here. I thought for so long that it was like a tropical fruit. I would have to go somewhere crazy to find it. They like grow literally wild where I live. What on earth?
It's crazy. Can I try to guess your number 1?
You might be able to figure it out by process of elimination at this point, and I think I will too. So,
Okay, wait.
For number 1, we will guess each other's.
Is your number 1 jackfruit?
My number 1 is jackfruit. You covered it already. I just think jackfruit, when it's good and ripe, has the second best smell of any fruit behind passion fruit. One of the best tastes. I like how it's not juicy, but it's not tough either. It's almost rubbery, but not quite, so that it would be unpleasant. It's just, you just pop it in your mouth. It's a good snack. It freezes really well. If you put it in the freezer, it's honestly even better. And then you can cook the seeds really well too. And if you get it really, really ripe, even the parts that usually aren't like as sweet get sweet, and those can be eaten the same way. People use it as a meat substitute, but you can do that. But to me, it's just, why would you not just let it ripen and let it turn into amazing, incredible jackfruit?
And my number 1?
Yellow dragon fruit?
That would be my number 1 as well. Yes.
Aw, we know each other.
Unlike him, I actually really, really like the texture of yellow dragon fruit. I love the flavor. I could just snack on it. Just like my Mexican guava that I was saying I could snack on all day. Every time I take a bite, I just cannot help but go, because it is just so good.
I will say, I have never had a more happy face reaction than the first time I tasted yellow dragon fruit.
That's very true.
It's not one I always look forward to getting, but it's one that I will always admit has the best flavor. It's really, really good, and it gets right around the problem of dragon fruit supposedly not being flavorful enough in most instances.
Thank you for joining us on this adventure of Top 10 Fruit.
And feel free to tell us your favorite fruit.
I was just about to say, please comment below with, it doesn't have to be your top 10, but just say some of your top fruits.
At least top 1. If you could do top 5, that would be great. If you could do a top 100, please post it in a different comment section. We'll accept a top 10, maybe a top 15 if you're feeling adventurous.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.